And I could be wrong, or I could be right, I don't know. But I'm just telling you what I believe to the core of my being. And there's not a single word that I said today, there's not a single thing that I do that I don't believe. There's nothing that I'm doing here to, expedite the sale, or I'll give you a perfect example. Flying down here just yesterday, I sat next to a guy on the plane, and before we took off, he was on the phone, clearly trying to close a deal. And the guy would say anything, it was obvious. The call wasn't going well, and his potential client, although I couldn't hear the client, clearly was expressing concern. And the guy was going, no, what are you talking about? There's no risk to you. We will assume all the risk. You don't have to worry about anything. I can't tell you how many other successful examples we have. We will put all the marketing in. The guy was selling and selling and selling, right? And he was going on and on and on. He goes, everything, we can do this for you. We've done this for so many people. And this went on and on and on. He started sweating. And then finally we have to take off, and so he says, listen, I'll call you back later, let's reconnect on Monday, I'll put together something over the weekend to send to you, and let's reconnect about this on Monday. All right, I'll talk to you soon, thanks. Close the phone, and then he says, under his breath, asshole. And I'm thinking to myself, then why do you want to do business with him? Right? Wouldn't that be your first clue? To be like, you know what? Maybe it's not a good fit. Ciao. Like, it's not going to get any easier. If you have a hard negotiation with somebody, guess how it's going to be doing business with them? It's the same. It's worse, because now you're contractually in it, right? So, to answer your question, those who understand my message believe what I believe, and those who don't understand my message don't believe what I believe. And when I talk to people and they say, well, what makes you better than your competition? My honest answer is, well, I don't even know who my competition is.
I know. Yeah.
And then they say, well, then why should we do business with you? And I say, because the work that I'm doing now is better than the work that I was doing 6 months ago, and the work that I'm going to be doing is going to be better than the work, in 6 months is going to be better than the work I'm doing now. And they go, fine, we'll do business with you 6 months from now. And they just told me they're in the majority. That's fine, I'll see you in 6 months. I'm only looking for the early adopters anyway.
No.
More questions? Yes, strike a shirt. Well done. Oh, that way first.
Hi.
Hi.
I hope you like my hat. As a group of marketers, we're all invested in language, and so I'm interested if you have like a mental exercise to be able to articulate belief with language.
That was a lovely, beautiful, ironic question. So, language. Yeah? Comment? It is a little bit of a biological problem, right? Which is the most important thing to articulate exists in the part of the brain that doesn't control language. It's a problem, right? So there's a few ways around it. This is where myths come from. Myths and stories and fables. They come from our human desire to communicate our beliefs and our values, but we lack the words, and so we put them into stories, right? That's where myths come from, trying to explain how we feel. So if there are stories that give you goosebumps, there's probably something there that embodies why you do what you do. In fact, I'll give you the best story of all, your own. Try going into a business pitch, no joke, or a negotiation, doesn't matter. And when they say, why should we do business with you? What's so good about your product? Before you get into all of that what stuff, tell them why you started the business. Just tell them why you started it. Well, I perceived a gap in the marketplace, and we knew that we had to. No, that's not why you started it. That's not why you started it. You're like, you know what? I'll just tell you mine. Okay? Here's my story. Here's how I find myself here today. Okay? My story is just like all of yours. I started a business. I started a small business. And when you start a small business, you know what it's like. It's like amazing and passionate and exciting and brilliant and just energy, right? And then you have to do it. And there's a statistic that hangs over your head that over 90% of all new businesses fail in the first 3 years. Now, if you're a little bit competitive, that's kind of fun. And so we started, first year we did okay, second year, still in business, doing okay, third year, still going, building up client list, and I beat the statistic. After 3 years, I joined that small club of small businesses that stayed in business for more than 3 years, but something happened. I didn't care. My fourth year was horrible. From all superficial, from all what perspectives, from all superficial outside elements, I should have been extremely happy. We had a good little business, we made good money, I had amazing clients, I mean Fortune 500 clients, we did brilliant work. Those weren't the problems. What we were doing and how we were doing it weren't the problems. The difference is, I lost my passion. Cool. I lost my passion is what happened. Of course, you pick the most emotional time of the musical. I completely lost my passion. And I remember, I know the months, it was September 05 to December 05, I came the closest I've ever come in my entire life if I wasn't completely depressed. I wasn't diagnosed, but I probably was depressed, right? And every ounce of energy I had went into pretending I was happy. I thought I was going to go bankrupt, I thought I was going to get evicted, I became totally paranoid, I was awful. And it wasn't for the luck of a confluence of a few events that I find myself where I am today. I had this thing called the Golden Circle articulated simply to explain why some marketing works and some didn't. It sat on a shelf, it was good for presentations. And it was a woman by the name of Victoria Duffy who started asking me, do you know how the human brain works? Which I didn't. And she started telling me about the neocortex and limbic brain. And the more I learned about it, the more I realized that this little idea perfectly overlapped with the biology of human decision making. I hadn't found why marketing works. I figured out why people do what they do. And from that point I realized I knew what I did and I knew how I did it, but I didn't know why. And I became obsessed with that question. And I figured out how to find your why. And I literally stopped talking about what I do and only started talking about what I believed. I literally stopped talking about what I did and I started telling people why I do what I do is to inspire people to do the things that inspire them. I wake up every day to inspire people to do the things that inspire them. For me, the fun is trying to find all the different ways that I can do that. My energy instantly turned around. I was rejuvenated, I had passion. I shared the idea with my friends and my friends started making crazy life decisions. My friends invited me to their homes to share it with their friends and I would show up and tell people about this concept that I had tripped over. And then I charged people $100 to help them find their why. Within 6 months, I was standing in the Pentagon because I was invited to share the idea with the Chief of Staff and Secretary of the Air Force. Within 1 year, I had a book deal from Penguin Books. I never even wrote a proposal. I started advising members of Congress. Prior to 4.5 years ago, I didn't even know anybody in local government. I now travel across the world talking to military bases and 4-star generals. Prior to 4 years ago, I didn't even know anybody in the military. I get 2 to 4 speaking requests a day. Prior to 4.5 years ago, the amount of paid public speaking I did my whole life was 1. Nothing I'm doing now was in any plan. I couldn't imagine doing the stuff that I'm doing now. The only thing that I'm still the same idiot that I was then. I didn't learn anything new. What I learned is that every organization on the planet, even our own careers, function on 3 levels. What we do, how we do it, why we do it. Most of us know about what and how. We call it strategy and tactics. Most people don't even know we don't even have a word for why. You need all 3. I don't believe the why is more important than the other 2. You know, just knowing why and not executing, what did Thomas Edison say? Vision without execution is hallucination, right? Those are the people who sit in rooms with solutions to all the problems and they're frustrated and they drool on themselves, right? Yeah. That's all why and no what. You've got to have all 3. They've got to be in balance. The problem is most people don't even know why it exists. And that's why I'm here. Just to share that there's this 3rd piece that we have to consider. So, how was that?
Wow.
Woo! It's just a story. And it's just my story of why this is where I am. And then you can say, that's why we have this product, because blah, 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 you know? The sales comes second. Why comes first? Tell your story. That's the easiest way to do it. Oh, I know I'm supposed to answer that question really quick. And surround yourself with reminders. Okay? I got an orange watch. You know why? Because orange is bright and inspiring. I carry in my pocket a coin that reminds me. It says on the coin, remember why you do what you do. think, act, and communicate from the inside out, right? I'm human, I forget. I had a money clip made. It says, to inspire. Why? Because every time I pay for something, it reminds me why I get out of bed in the morning. And I have on my computer a print, one of those label makers. It says to inspire. So when I open up my computer in the morning, it says to inspire. And I wear my favorite belt every day, which is an Air Force belt, General. And the reason is because there is no greater symbol of that which inspires than the miracle of flight to me. It's a symbol that I find inspiring. I have little model airplanes on my desk to remind me why I get out of bed this morning. I have pictures of Martin Luther King on my wall. I have the word to inspire on my wall by my desk. I am surrounded with the symbols, the tangible things that remind me why I do what I do. Surround yourself with the childhood things, or the stories, with the pictures of the things, anything to remind you.
Simon, good morning. My name is Pam Buchholter.
Nice.
Nice to meet you.
From Bloemfontein?
All the way from South Africa.
How's it?
How's it? Absolutely. I came particularly to say thank you to you today, and I'll tell you why. This is my husband, Steve. He's been working for Carbon Copy Pro for quite some time, or with, I should say. It's a careful change of conjunction. He's been asking me for a long time to join him in his venture. I'm a clinical psychologist, very happy in the work that I do. I know my why.
Nice.
I didn't know that I knew my why until you, but now I do.
Thank you.
My husband is a successful businessman. And when he said, come and join me, I was, you know what, it's not for me. I'm not clear yet on what you do. I'm not interested in network marketing. I'm not interested in the pyramid. Eventually, one day, he said to me, come and watch this video. I go out to his office. We're very blessed. He works from home. I work from home. I go out to his office and I watch your video. We sat down and worked out the why together of why we do this. And my husband's why is success through integrity, one person at a time.
I love it.
I love him because he is an integrous man and he wakes up every day to sell his integrity. And if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be together in that way of working. So my appreciation from the southern tip of Africa.
Thank you. Would you both come up with Yeah, no, I think it says flashing zeros. I want to thank you very, very much. I know there are more questions. I will be here all day, and if you find me, I'll answer any question you have. Thank you very, very much, truly. Thank you.